All right, in circles, it's believed that you don't talk about religion or politics. Well, right now I'm about to talk about religion. This is cuneiform. There's been only one person on the planet in the history since this came out that was able to translate this. I met this guy when Dolores came out with Convoluted Universe 1. He was able to take the Babylonian tablets that were thousands and thousands of years old and translate them. I joked with him, I was like, well, technically you've been born to perform a mission for God because these oldest documents on the planet needed to be translated. The first book that he did was called The 12th Planet. The 12th planet tells about a planet that we have that circles, it has a great orbit, and every 3,000 or 10,000 years, they're still deciding. If you go on to Sitchin.com, there's a lot of information on there. And it talks about how now all of a sudden they're finding a magnetic anomaly out in the outer beyond Pluto. And they're believing, oh, I think this 12th planet's coming back into orbit. In the book 12th Planet, it talks about an alien race that lives on this 12th planet, and they travel here to Earth, and they develop us humans to mine gold because they need gold in their upper atmosphere to maintain their atmosphere. I mean, the first document on the planet, this 12th planet, they're already talking about aliens. You know, what is religion other than the books that we read, the knowledge that we're given? It talks about these aliens creating us, and then even the sons of God sleeping with the daughters of men and creating hybrids. So they not only created our species. All right. The next book that would come out was kind of hidden for a while. It would be the Book of Abraham. The Book of Abraham actually came out in the Book of Mormon. It was the first book that was translated, although what I'm saying right now, the Mormons aren't going to admit it. But if we go back and we study what the Book of Mormon is, all the records up until the first temple, which was destroyed in 600 BC, were stolen from Jerusalem by this group called the Jaredites. They stole all the records out of Jerusalem, gold plates, and came across the ocean to the United States and became the American Indians. This group was called the Jaredites. The first race didn't do so good. The second group, their name was the Nephites. They stole the rest of the records out of Jerusalem when the second temple fell. And they came here to the United States again. There was a splitting between two groups, the Nephites and the Lamanites, and over time, they eventually found this record of the Jaredites, and they were all combined together. So somewhere in the North American continent is the entire history of our civilization on gold plates, and it's stored someplace. Well, one day, God knowing everything, God approaches this man, his name was Mormon, and says, look, Mormon, we need to protect these records. I need you to place them here. He gave explicit instructions of where to put them. And now I need you to go and I need you to copy this book, copy this book, copy this book. He didn't copy them all. He just copied the ones that he told him to. After he was done, God went to him and says, see that last 2/3 of that book you just did? I want you to put bands around it. I don't want that translated yet. And then the Book of Mormon was passed down to his son Moroni. And Moroni was told by God, we want you to go here and stick it in a stone box on the side of Hill Cumorah in New York State. And then supposedly all the Nephites were wiped out. That book sat in there for, I forget what year it was, until Joseph Smith came along. Joseph Smith knelt down one day and he's like, God, what religion should I be? Every church is telling me, go be with this, we're the true faith. You need to come to our church. So he got down one day and he's like praying, God, please help me, help me. And all of a sudden this angel Moroni comes to him. He says, don't worry, we'll show you the way. And then he's shown where this box is, and he's not allowed to touch it. He's shown it like multiple, year after year, until, okay, you can open it now. He opens the box, and in there is an Urim and Thummim. It's a pair of glasses with a breastplate that lets you read other languages even though you don't know how to read it. Supposedly, it's a remnant of Atlantis. When Dolores Cannon translated the Nostradamus quatrains, one of the quatrains goes and explains this is a very important event that happened. He calls it the Verger box. So if you want to go through the Nostradamus quatrains, ironically, I have them all posted. If you go to NostradamusQuatrains.com, I put that up 20 years ago. So it's been up quite a long time. As we continue down through time, obviously Moses with the 12 commandments, and everybody's, oh no, it's 10. Well, it was 12. Then the next would be the Torah, and supposedly the Torah was written by God and given to the Jews. It's all in a secret code. You can find that on the internet, research any of that. And religion, Catholic faith, was probably mostly Latin for centuries. One of my grandfathers, King James, got pissed off one day and said, you know, I'm done with this. I want my subjects to be able to read it in English. And so he said, well, we want these books. So he picked the 66 books in the Bible that we have now, and he translated everything into English. And he's like, I want Catholic service to be in English from now on. Before that, there was the Gutenberg Bible, but they hunted that thing down. Once they came out with that, they didn't want it. There's other books. I mean, these were not included in there. The lost books of the Bible, the forgotten books of Eden. As I had mentioned earlier, the Book of Abraham. When they translated the first book out of the Book of Mormon, one of the women got all nervous because it talks about Kolob, a planet closer to the center of our Milky Way galaxy. There, one day is 1,000 years here, and didn't think that the Mormon religion should start out like that, so it was destroyed. As after Joseph Smith finished the translation, he was brought by people excavating mummies and found the Book of Moses and the Book of Abraham again, and then retranslated it, and it went into the Doctrine and Covenants, Pearl of Great Price. You can contact any Book of Mormon. They'll give you one for free. It's probably one of the more interesting books on the planet if nobody has ever read it. And any questions?
So, excuse me, the Book of Abraham, did you say? That's in the Judeo-Christian area, and the one in the Mormon, are they the same, or are they?
Well, the one that was destroyed just resurfaced afterwards. Whether or not they hid it, or just ironically, one reappeared, because we needed this document on the planet.
But
one
you
of these
said
books.
that the one that was, when it was first written, mentioned this planet that's 1,000.
Oh, the Book of Abraham was the same one that was translated twice.
Okay.
It's
so
the
that's
same.
mentioned in the Book of Abraham?
That's mentioned in the Book of Abraham.
Not the Mormon one, but the one that...
No.